at one point when they're leaving the basement, they shoot an alien and it sprays goo all over them. Which is hilarious. And then the trophy wife girl is running up the stairs, and there's the world's greatest gooey alien blood cleavage shot that I have ever seen. It's glistening as she's running up those stairs. It's a thing of beauty, let me tell you. So what happens now?
I don't know. We're getting into weird territory.
Hello and welcome to the 29th episode of Good, Bad, or Bad, the show where we watch terrible movies, tell you if you should too. I am your host, Brian. He is Kyle. God damn, this movie we're doing today is amazing.
Oh boy.
It's amazing.
So this is called Blood Predator. I found it in a collection of horror movies. This one just happens to be one with a bit of a sci-fi element to it.
Yeah.
But I completely based it off the back of it. Its little blurb was like, after surviving a plane crash, 5 people are stalked in a snowy mountain range
cabin
by an extraterrestrial multiplying being or beast or whatever it is. But just reading that, I was like, "Yep, I'm watching this.
This sounds awesome.
I'm watching this."
This is so technically terrible that it's sort of mind-blowing that I've never seen or heard talk of it before. It's one of the worst technically done films by that still manages to have some actual filmmaking. Like, Ben and Arthur's technically a worse movie than this.
My bike is gone.
What? You locked it up, didn't you?
I asked you to lock it up for me last time, remember?
Well, I thought I locked it up.
Damn it, Arthur!
Like, in terms of
Ben
how
and
it was
Arthur
shot.
has better narrative than this.
Yeah, but I guess more importantly, or what I'm saying is that, like, technically Ben and Arthur's a worse movie because it's all shot on a Sony Handycam, and it's a guy who doesn't know how to make a movie at all. There's some of the stuff in this, some of the shots look like actual movie shots occasionally.
This makes me feel kind of better about my movie.
But like, okay, so
where do you even begin with
I don't
this
even
thing?
know where to begin with this thing.
Year before that, we went hiking in Montana, Yeah, I almost got bitten by a fucking bear.
Oh, jeez, honey, are you okay?
It's, I guess you just start at the beginning, so usually a good place.
All right, they're in a plane.
Yeah.
They're flying
you skipped
Oh, my
the
bad.
6-minute
My bad. I forgot the intro.
pre-credit intro, which is just the worst thing because
it's way too much.
It's way too long. Like, this is, you do it, so it's a guy on a snowmobile, and the first shots, I'm like, oh, this movie was shot on a Sony Handycam, because the shots of him on the snowmobile very clearly like a cheap consumer level camera. And then he gets to the house, and the quality goes up to like a slightly more professional level camera, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, so he filmed some pickup shots with a camcorder or something. Anyways, so it's just this guy who runs out of gas and goes to this house in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, hey, is anybody here? But they built him walking around this house for 6 fucking minutes. But it's nothing happens, and they keep building up the music like something's about to happen, and then nothing happens.
Anybody home?
I guess we forgot to prefix that there's a meteorite or a
Oh,
spaceship
yeah.
that drops off.
Yeah.
It's the
It
alien.
looks
Terrible.
It looks terrible. It's just a shot of it, but it's like the best CG, because they just bought an animation of Earth from space and put like a little rocket on it or something.
Yeah.
So that's the alien crashing, I guess landing on Earth. So yeah. So this guy walks around his house for 6 fucking minutes, and they do like dumb jump scares with like stuffed lynxes, and it's fucking horrible. But finally he gets to the basement, to this one room that is the important room and ultimately in the movie, where he goes up into like this like crawl space, and then an alien, and it grabs him. And do we see it at this point? I don't even remember. Like a little bit maybe.
I think we either see a little bit of it, or we just see an image of him and then a scream.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And then so he gets grabbed and pulled up into the thing, and then the credits roll. And like I said, 6 fucking minutes. When you do that, you get a minute or 2, and you make it happen, and then you get out. You don't spend. Ugh. It's like we're already off to a terrible start here. So then it rolls credits, and then we get to the plane.
This plane is the most spacious small plane I've ever seen.
There's like 6 people on this plane, or 7 or 8 or something. How many in our main cast are there? 8 people, 7, and then the pilot. There's 3 couples, and then the girl, right?
Oh my god, how many?
There's 3 couples. Yeah, there's 3 couples, and then the girl. So there's 7. It's the rich couple, the fighting couple, the snowboarder and his girlfriend, and then the other girl, who's that her reveal of why she doesn't have somebody there with her is incredible. We'll get to that.
8 people on this plane in total.
8 people with the pilot,
and in the greatest this plane is huge, by the way.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's unbelievable. It's super tall.
They're like sitting on couches, and like,
clearly they kind of built this set.
Yeah, and you can see when they show the windows, like the fucking green screening of the outside is so shaky and awful looking, like out of the windows. And then when they cut to exterior shots of the plane, oh my god, holy shit!
It looks like a Hot Wheels toy.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking bonkers. So they start having problems, and they're going to like go skiing. They're all going to like a ski resort, I guess is the idea. And let's introduce our cast of characters real quick. All right, there's a fucking amazing cast of characters.
Our main fighting couple, who are the 2, if you want to even call them protagonists.
Kind of, yeah.
You have John, who always introduces himself as Indiana.
Yeah.
Hey, name's John, but everyone calls me Indiana.
And then you have Sandra, who... Is it Sandra or Sandy?
Sandy is what I mean, maybe it's Sandra, but they call her Sandy at the end. I don't know.
But Sandy, who is introduced with literally an F-bomb in every single sentence.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fucking great.
Since NASA lost.
Why the fuck do we have to fly 800 miles just to go skiing?
Yeah, and they're like your classic, like, loveless marriage. Like, they're tired of each other. She doesn't want to put up with his shit. He doesn't really care. Like, they just bicker all the time. And so she's really mad that they're going skiing. She didn't want to go skiing. And
sorry, I don't know what the fuck's in my eye.
Okay.
Get out of there.
So she didn't want to go skiing. Sandy really didn't want to go skiing, but this guy wanted to. And she says, I'd rather suck a frog's ass than...
I'd rather suck a frog's ass than spend my vacation time in some 2-bit cabin all weekend.
That's not a thing anybody says. That's not...
It's an idiom, sure.
No. I'd rather suck a frog's ass than spend my vacation in a cabin. All right.
You know, every fucking year is the same old thing. Last year, we were fly fishing in Colorado. Oh, you'll see, we'll have fun, he said. All I got was chigger bites and poison ivy.
There's the rich asshole guy,
Tom,
who with his like trophy girlfriend, wife, whatever.
I don't know what it is.
Barb? I don't know if they ever say her name. Yeah, I guess they do once or twice.
Let's call her Barb.
Yeah. And she, and they're like, she's like really the dumb, ditzy, pretty girl.
Babe, how much longer?
NASA says they will have Ekron build 3 more.
Barb, please, I'm trying to listen to the market.
And he's the asshole rich guy who just throws money at every problem.
Yeah, which I'm confused. Is the guy like super like a tech genius? Because like
I don't know what I think he's like a trader, like because he says I'm listening to the markets at the beginning.
Okay, because I thought he was introduced or his what he does is that little TV he's looking at or little radio thing. I thought he like invented that.
Maybe I missed that completely. I thought because early in the movie he says I'm listening to the markets, be quiet, and so I assumed he was just like a day trader or something.
Who listens to classical music?
Who listens? None of that rock and roll shit.
Yo, dog, what do you think you're doing?
We will not listen to that crap.
You kidding me?
Classical music only, motherfuckers.
Has an endless supply of cigars.
Yes, and money. So at one point, and then the snowboarder,
Zach,
who's a professional snowboarder, and his girlfriend Jennifer, and then and what's the other girl's name?
It starts with, is it like Melissa or something?
Something like that. I can't remember her name. The other one who's not a couple, and she's a lesbian, we find out, which is an important story element. I'm not just saying that for the sake of saying it. It becomes an important moment in the film, kind of. And then the pilot, who's got a great hat. But he's only in the movie for 30 seconds, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Or at least we assume he dies, because we don't see him ever again after the plane. So we start having issues on the plane, and like the gauge starts going off. And for some reason, the snowboarder guy's like, hey man, don't worry, that gauge, there's nothing. Like, he starts telling the pilot not, like, he says,
I wouldn't worry about that.
What, kid?
I said forget it. Gauge is non-functional, dude.
and the pilot's like,
how
I'm
do you
the
know?
pilot. There's a problem here. Why are you trying to tell me what?
Snowboarder.
Yeah, like, it's so weird. He's like, man, don't worry about that. And the guy's like, guys, we're having trouble. We're going down.
Better grab onto something, people. We're gonna try and land.
Basically.
I'll pay you X number of dollars to get this plane safely.
The rich guy starts trying to bribe the plane not to crash.
I'll pay you $1,000 to make sure you get us to the lodge.
I don't know. He's like, I will give you $1,000 if we don't crash. And the pilot's like, you know what? On second thought, I'm not gonna crash now. And he does that a lot in this movie. And it's, I guess I know it's played as a joke, but it's so stupid. So they're going down, and when they're like the turbulence, it's just the person shaking the camera, like. But the sound
it goes full like Star Trek.
Yeah,
and
like,
they're just like shaking left and right.
Yeah, and I love too that the sound effect of the plane shaking. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be how the plane sounded shaking or if it was literally the sound of them shaking the camera, because it sounds like when you shake a camera really fast.
Oh, jeez, honey, are you okay?
Do I look okay?
Something on it was just banging against the side of the camera over and over again. It's fucking incredible.
Oh, God. Please help us.
So the plane crash is fucking amazing. Holy shit.
Control tower, do copy.
It doesn't even like shred. It just falls apart.
It just falls apart, and I honestly couldn't tell if it was a miniature or like really bad CG or both. Like, it was very strange.
Definitely both.
Definitely
both.
I think it was a
and
little
by
bit
the way,
of both.
the plane that they use in CG, not even the same model, even close to the plane that they're using for the miniature or whatever it is.
No. It's amazing, though. So they crash, and the pilot dies. I guess. We assume. And it's important. They're all in the plane when it crashes. This is important for a later moment, okay? They didn't, like, parachute out of the plane. I just gotta set that up now. We'll talk about it. So the plane crashes, and they're all like, okay, let's go. They all are fine. They get a couple bumps and scrapes, but they...
Hey, the back is where it's at.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, fair enough, but they're all fine. Like, none of them are even remotely... Like, nobody has, like, a broken arm or anything. They all just have a couple nicks. And the pilot fucking ate it. So they're, like, going through the woods to find some people or, you know, try to get out. They're like, well, fuck, we're in the middle of nowhere. And so of course, snowboarder starts smoking weed, as you do.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you smoke that shit someplace else?
So they find the hut from the first opening vignette. And right away, they find a vehicle. Like, before they even go inside, they're, like, walking around, and there's a snowcat, as they call it.
This thing is so... I know this is a real thing, but it just looks so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing, but it's a really old one, for one thing. It's, like, one from, like, the 70s.
Yeah.
Or something. And it's just, like, a big tread thing for driving through snow. And it's hilarious because there was snow everywhere, but then when they're shooting now and walking around, there's no snow anywhere. It's all just, like, grass and stuff. But, like, which happens constantly in this movie, where it goes from snow to not snow to snow to whatever. It's like, this movie, I think, is supposed to take place over, like, 2 days. But, like, you see, like, all 4 seasons in the course of 2 days.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, that's what the guy thought a lot, and he was wrong, the director.
Digging faster!
Oh, and when he opens the door to the snowcat, it's, like, the quintessential gate sound effect. You'll know it. It's super recognizable. And then, so I don't get this. They just crashed and they just like they've been together for 10 minutes, and the rich guy says something.
Well, whatever it is, let's get the show on the road so we can get the hell out of here. I'm starving.
And Sandy turns to him and goes,
"Well, you sure are a bossy son of a bitch for someone who doesn't lift a finger."
And it's like, what has there been to do? You haven't done anything yet.
Get their bags or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you guys don't even know each other. What? All right. And then they so they try to start it and they can't start it, even though fucking Indiana Jones said he was a tank mechanic and he can fix anything. Yeah, he literally can't fix anything.
If it's got a motor, I can fix it. I was a tank mechanic in the war. Well, there's nothing we can do about it now.
Well, you have to understand, he was in the Gulf War, and this is the frozen Sierra Mountains.
Yeah, I guess.
Completely different.
Yeah. One of the girls there has to be like, hey, it's diesel. You gotta whatever to start it. And he's like, I knew that.
Yep. I am a mechanical expert.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get inside and find a phone and get out of this cold.
Yep, fucking ye.
I'm sure I can get it going.
Yeah.
Let's go and explore the house.
Well, they needed to heat it up.
Oh, right.
Even though they don't show that.
No, they don't show that happening. So they go in and explore the house for a few minutes, and I'm like, God, if we sit here and watch them like the beginning explore this house for 30 fucking minutes, I'm gonna shoot myself.
And we do.
We do. It's a little less, but they even like beat for beat follow some of the same jump scares where they like cut to the same jump scare of the fucking stuffed big cat sitting there. I'm like, we just did this. Why are we doing this again?
When they go down to the basement where that room is, it's just full. It's just covered in like
blood and
gooey stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I love there's this big build-up moment at one point where somebody's like looking through a thing, and then they find, and the music swells. A lamp.
Yay!
Cool. Awesome. All right.
Yay! Propane lamp.
There's this scene. So they decide to hang out, and they're just sitting there, and they're like sitting at the table, like playing cards or something. Or I don't know. Somebody walks by. One of the characters walks by and says something.
Oh, by the way, there's no food in the house.
And the guy goes, "What did she say?"
What did she say?
And I'm like, is the movie referencing the fact that their audio quality is shit and you can't understand the actors half the time? Because she walks by and she says something, I think she says, like, there's no food in the house. And he goes, what did she say? And I'm like, I think she said there's no food in the house. I don't know.
It's all right. We'll order take.
Yeah.
We'll order room service.
I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. Because there's nothing to eat in here.
Oh, well, that's okay. We'll order in.
And then he pulls out his cell phone, and I'm like, you didn't think?
And then he does the movie thing.
The movie thing that I fucking don't get. Somebody in the comments told us that's a thing, but I still don't believe that person. So they start making a fire. This is fucking weird. So they start making a fire, and they're like, and it's nighttime now. And he's making a fire, and then it just cuts away. The guy gives him his lighter and says, "I want that back." And then it cuts, and it's daytime, and they're in the fucking snowcat leaving.
I want that back.
Everybody hang on.
Yeah.
I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened? Where did we what?
And they didn't get too far.
No. So they get in and they start driving it away. And then it just breaks down again. And then they're back in the house immediately.
Fuck.
What?
Like, what is going on? What are we doing here, movie?
Oh, this movie is completely incomprehensible.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fucking nuts. And the end though is the end puts the rest of this movie to shame and how fucking batshit nuts it is. And oh yeah.
Okay, so we need to get to the next night. This movie is basically based off the model that Jesse gave us, which is do a horror movie with shitty aliens or shitty monsters and tits.
So they're hanging out the next night and they're playing poker, or that night or whatever, and they're playing cards or something, and they got to make a fact point of how dumb his model girlfriend is, and she thinks they're playing rummy or something like that. And then they're like, we're playing poker.
Rummy! What?
Barb, we're playing poker.
And then it keeps cutting to other people doing stuff throughout the house, but we can always hear them playing poker. And at one point, the dumb girl just yells, "Wee!" for no reason for a really long time. And I'm like, what is happening?
Guess she's out.
Bad dealer.
I'm like, what is that? Okay. Before it gets to the fucking, because this is important, they start to explore the basement again, and this is when he gets the gun out, because they hear something. The guy hears the sound, and they're like, there's sound coming from the basement or whatever. And the guy goes and he pulls a gun out.
Which, by the way, how do you get that on a flight?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a private chartered flight, so maybe security's different. But he pulls a gun out, and he's like, it's my wife.
What the heck is that?
Last time I checked, a gun.
You got a gun?
Cool. Yeah, it's my wife's.
And I'm like, dude, she was planning to kill you in the cabin.
Yep.
She was planning to kill you.
Yep.
She brought a gun on your vacation to your secluded wooden cabin, and you clearly have a loveless. She was going to kill you.
Well, that's just fucking great.
Year since NASA lost
Why the fuck do we have to fly 800 miles just to go skiing?
Come on, honey, it's just...
And he pulls it out, and they go downstairs, and they're like exploring, and this fucking drove me insane. He's got the gun out, and they're going, and it gets to a door, that big scary door that they think there's something behind, and he puts the gun away and opens the door. And I'm like, the whole point of having the gun is so that when you get to the big scary door that something might be behind, you can shoot that thing. But and then he does it again in the very next scene, because they open that door, there's nothing there.
Well,
he walks to the next door, and they're going to open that one, and they show him putting it in his pocket. I'm like,
Safety first.
it's the opposite of safety. You brought the gun so that if you open a door and there's a bear down there, you can shoot it, but you can't do that if you put it in your pocket every... It really bothered me. I was like, why do you keep putting your gun away, idiot?
Well, that's just swell. Well, whatever it is, it's gone now.
And you can't see anything in this movie.
No,
it's all
so
just
dark.
shot in the pitch black with like a shitty camera. And I talked about it a little bit, but it happens constantly that we switch back and forth between a pro level-ish camera of some sort and a fucking Sony Handycam. And it's nonsense when it happens. It's not like we hit a point and then from there on, like, they ran out of budget. And it's the guy shot a movie, realized he forgot to shoot half the movie, and then went back with a different camera and reshot it. Like, it's fucking mind-blowing. Scene to scene, we're going from different cameras to different, and actors' hairs change. Like the Sandy, I swear to God, it almost looks like a different actress when they show the pickup shots of her that they put in.
Yeah, as I was saying before.
Yeah, then this is where we get to.
Because, you know, you need to have that in your movie, or else people won't take it seriously.
So the snowboard dude, yeah, of course. And boys, this movie deserved to be taken seriously.
Oh, we're not in some stupid movie!
So snowboard dude and his girlfriend are laying there, and they established that like he cheated on her, so they're kind of like in a rough spot. But he comes in and they're laying on the floor in a sleeping bag right next to other
giant
strangers. Yeah, giant sleeping bag right next to the lone lesbian girl. And they're like he starts just like fucking going at it on her, and then she looks over and the fucking girl is just staring at her.
No, she's rubbing one out.
Initially she's just staring, but then very clearly it's like, I'm gonna stare and touch myself.
It's okay. Don't mind me.
Like, that is really creepy. like you don't know these people. Like, that's a thing you would talk to them about. Be like, you mind if I watch you guys. Like, she's just like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm like, oh shit. They're totally gonna bang. Jennifer, the snowboarder's girlfriend, and that girl are gonna have sex. Cause they make a point of like, he's like, you know, he just fucks her for like 10 seconds and then, you know, is done. And he's like a big jerk. And then he starts, and they have the conversation after they have sex where he starts talking to, it's like Melissa or something like that. And he's asking her, he's like, why are you alone?
Like, why ain't you like with anybody?
He's like, why is there no one with you? I'm like, well, is it a requirement that you always have to have your boyfriend or girlfriend with you? Like, sometimes people will just do things by themselves, weirdo.
It's none of our business.
What?
She couldn't make it.
But so he's like grilling her about like her life and why, and then she says, well, my girlfriend or something. She says something like, my girlfriend didn't come.
She couldn't make it.
And he's like being a fucking jerk. He's like, oh, you like girls? What's wrong? You don't like that sausage? Blah, blah, blah. Like,
sorry. How come you don't take the sausage?
Zach!
Just meathead bullshit. But at the end, she gets to a point, I don't remember how exactly it happens, but she drops the bomb. She goes, yeah.
Where's your little girlfriend?
She's dead.
They had a whole conversation like she was alive and just away for work or something, and then she's like, she's dead. Like, what?
As per this movie, the response to that is, oh, okay,
all right.
She's dead.
And then the scene ends. I'm like, all right, cool.
I love the Tom guy in Barb in bed where she's like riding him in he's just smoking a cigar.
He's smoking a cigar and she's just on top of him, and yeah, we get to see her boobs.
Oh, Snookums.
That was the first boobs we see in the movie. It's hers and we see him from outside. So just one more little random thing. Every time they show an exterior shot of the cabin, it's like the cabin looks so fuzzy, and like what it looks like to me is they got a picture of like a shot of the woods and then composited a separate shot of a cabin onto it, but the shot of the cabin was way too small, so they blew it up and like it lost all of the depth. That's what it looks like to me or something.
This movie is such a piece of shit.
It's terrible. So they basically at this point decide, okay, and this is what I was talking about earlier. I think we're at this point. Yeah. So they go, okay, what we got to do is we're going to go out and we're going to look for the
plane.
The plane.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
Looking for the plane to find the radio.
And use the radio in the plane to call for help. Again, let me stress, they were in the plane when it crashed, got out of it, and walked to this cabin. Mm-hmm. In a day, less than a day. First, you didn't think to try to radio before you fucking left the plane? Why? That's like step one. We crashed. Go grab the radio. Hey, we crashed. Everybody would think of that. 2, they can't find the plane. You just came from it a day ago. Like, how did you forget where you came? All right, fine. So they decide they can't find it. A snowboarder guy goes snowboard for it.
I tell you what, Sid. If you think you're such a great snowboarder, why don't you go and look for help?
Well, I could if I had my boy boots.
Go
snowboard in the non-snow covered mountain range.
That's very flat where they are. They're not like at the top of a thing. Like, I don't know what they go snowboard on the grass to the plane. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. And the rich guy's like goading him, and he's like, you don't got the balls to do it.
$500 says you don't have the balls, Zit.
He's like, I'll do it, but I don't got my snow boots, or something. And so he basically is like, I'll give you $500 if you do it. And he's like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And he goes, why don't you do it right now? I'm like, it's the middle of the night. Why don't you not do it right now?
How about right now? That's what I thought. No balls.
Like, why would you even want? Okay, So he's like, I'll give you $1,000 if you do it right now. And he's like, all right. And so he goes out and disappears and goes snowboarding.
Well, he hands him his Swiss Army. John hands him his Swiss Army knife. I'm like, okay, why is this? Why is this a scene?
That is broken because he broke it on the door earlier. We saw that happen. So he gives him a broken Swiss Army knife.
Oh, good job there, Indiana.
I guess the rest of the tools on it are still fine. It was just the one blade, and the toothpick again, a little shitty plastic toothpick. The continuity in this film is fucking. There is none.
It's all over the place.
There is none, but there's good. Well, there's a perfect instance of it. They show the lesbian girl's laying there, and she's naked. Clearly, a shot of her inner thing, and she's not wearing clothes. And then it cuts to the next morning. She gets up out of her. Well, that night they hear a sound outside, and she gets up in her thing, and she's fully clothed, like in the next moment. And so what happened was the dude died. Dude got mauled. Snowboarder guy died and was on their front porch.
Yeah.
Got brought to their front porch.
They bring him inside.
In like a sack? Like a couple of his body parts in a bag.
Can't leave him out there. He'll attract bears.
Yeah.
No, we cannot just leave him out there.
Barb's right, he'll attract more bears.
They're like, he'll attract bears inside, and then they'll try to get it, like, what? That whole thing where they, like, bring his body in, and they're like, we can't leave him out there.
Look, you gotta treat it like a cooler, all right? You hang him up in a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta take a rope, throw it over, pull him up. But they bring him in, and the rich guy actually makes a good point. He's like,
what the hell do you think you're doing? You can't put that thing inside, it'll stink out the place.
Fucking leave that outside, idiots. And they're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, listen to him. That's stupid. But they bring it in, they just leave his body in the living room.
Let's move him over there.
Okay.
And they leave, but they don't even like put it in somewhere away. They leave it on the floor in the living room right next to them because that's where it is at the end of the movie. So the guy goes out again to try to get the snowcat working the next day.
Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
He goes out, he walks out to it the next day to try to get the snowcat working. And I'll let you take this one.
Okay. So he's like cranking it and it won't start.
Yeah.
And they go to a close-up of him, and he is drowning in sweat.
It's like 108 degrees in that.
And the entire time, he's just like, it's cold.
So cold.
I'm doing cold acting right now.
And they show, every time they show, it's like snow outside, then it cuts to an outside shot, it's grass, and it's 108 degrees, and it's fucking nonsense. And I love that his master mechanics, all he ever does in this is just try to turn the key. He never once goes and pops the hood or anything. He just turns and goes, come on, come on. It's like, you're not doing anything different. So then they show, so then they're having an argument the next night about like, the girl's like, I don't think it was a bear.
I'll tell you one thing, that was no fucking bear.
What do you mean? Of course it was.
He goes, no, it was a bear. What is up with your weird things? And she goes, have you ever seen a person being mauled by a bear?
How do you know? You ever seen a person mauled by a bear before?
No.
Then shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
But I'm like, have you? That's a weird question. She's like, have you ever seen someone mauled by a bear? No? And he's like, no. And she's like, shut up. And I'm like, but that doesn't, does that mean you do know what that looks like? Okay, I guess.
Well, what makes you think it's not a bear?
Why would a bear drop Zach's body off at the front door?
Oh, come on, lady. Enough with the ghost stories. It was a goddamn bear.
Oh, and then, so while they're having this conversation, what's her name is consoling Jennifer and like holding her. And they're just sitting there. And at the end of the scene, the way there's just silence. And then it cuts to a shot of them. And then she just starts screaming uncontrollably.
Honey, Jen.
Jennifer's sleeping, and Melissa or whatever her name is says, "I don't want to sleep alone."
All right.
Yep. And I was like, nice. So she gets down, and it fucking just immediately lays down next to her and starts like fucking caressing her face and like making out with her or trying to make it. She goes out and in for the kiss, and the girl's like, no, I can't.
No. Wait.
Never mind, I totally want that.
this entire setup where she's just immediately going on the rebound, I guess.
Yeah.
Rob, you killed Zach.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah, you killed him. That's what happened. It wasn't a fucking bear. You went out into the woods, fucking killed him because you wanted to bang his girlfriend. Like, she immediately gets on that, and they got a nice little girl-on-girl action.
One of them was willing to go topless.
Yeah, the other one was willing to wear a bra on camera. And I love that the music in this scene is like acoustic guitar that gets increasingly more driving acoustic guitar as the coitus occurs. It's pretty great. Girl love between two girls.
You ask me about this thing we share, and he tenderly replies, it's guy love between two guys.
All right, I love it. Like, the only cinematic shot in the whole film is the post girl-on-girl sex scene shot where it does this really cool crane shot over them laying on the floor. Like, it's very well shot. It's the only time anything like that happens in the whole film.
The director's like, look, I need this.
This is the most important. This. Like, they set that shot up and it's like, it's nice twisting, panning down them laying there. Ugh.
Okay, can I put my clothes back on now?
Not yet! Okay. Not yet. So my hope was that they were going to be the only two that lived and went and be, in love together. That's not what happens. But so she gets up and hears something downstairs, Melissa or whatever her name is, and goes downstairs to investigate. I was like, oh shit, she's gonna die already. Because that was the other thing, is like, people fucked and then they die. But as she's going downstairs, this scene fucking is my everything. I don't know if it's such a little moment, but as she gets up after having sex with her the next day and she hears something downstairs or something, and she's going down in the basement, and as she's getting ready to go down, she stops, pulls a picture out of her pocket of her dead girlfriend.
What?
And just looks at it. And the picture is the least flattering picture, because she is like in the middle of her chemo treatment. She had cancer or something. She's bald, but not that. I mean, that's whatever. But like, it's like this weird angle, and she looks very unhappy in the picture. It's like not a picture you would like remember your loved one with.
Do you have something of happier times, maybe?
Yeah. She's like, looks miserable in the picture, and you're like, oh, I miss you. It's like, get a picture of her smiling, like the two of you or something. Jesus Christ. But she just stares at a picture of her dead girlfriend, and I'm just like, what's going on? This is fucking nuts. This is where shit starts to pop off. We're done with all the sex scenes.
Yeah,
let's get to the finale. It's basically how this works.
They get into the room.
Yeah.
And then they give John a boost into the secret
crawl space
room
or whatever, yeah.
He gets up there.
Just real quick, his line before that is, they're like, don't do it. She's like, don't do it. Be careful. He goes, I didn't travel to far off lands to be a chicken, Sandy.
John, you don't know what's in there.
I didn't travel to far off lands to become a chicken, Sandy.
You're in, like, Montana. You're not in far off lands. What are you talking? You mean when you were in the military? Fucking great line. I didn't travel to far off lands.
They're in Northern California. And you can go there right now if you go to this website and book SierraMountains.com. This is not paid for by them.
Not paid for. So yeah, he's in the crawl space looking around.
And they keep building tension. John, are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine.
He gets 8.
His neck is just like destroyed, and he is pouring blood on Sandy.
Sandy's face. It's kind of
which
amazing.
is important.
Yes, it
throughout
is.
the rest of the movie.
Super important for continuity issues.
All right, let's go. No, wait. Karen, get out of my way.
But she is covered in blood, his blood, drenched. So he's dead, and they're like, fuck, and they get the fuck out of there. And you can't see anything like in any of this because it's all just fucking pitch black. So they're out, and they like run upstairs, and they're like barricading stuff, and they got the gun, and Tom has the gun, and he's sitting there, and oh no, but like somebody yells, I love this, Sandy, this is when Sandy snaps, and it's fucking my favorite thing in the movie, is that, because she's such an annoying, like, just the bitch character the whole movie, and at the end, after she gets her husband's blood dumped all over her face, she fucking goes off, like she snaps, and like Tom's being an asshole, and she fucking cold cocks him and like knocks him out almost.
I guess Indiana didn't win this time.
And it's fucking incredible. But so they grab the gun and the thing.
Okay, so Tom's not the greatest shot in the world. Somehow still manages to hit this thing at least once
without looking.
Yeah. But he does the incredibly dumb thing of like, I think I got it. It's all right. I'll go check and see if it's dead.
Sniff it.
Oh, it reeks.
Put my face next to it.
That lasts for all of about 20 seconds, and then he gets pulled downstairs and is killed.
What'd I tell you?
Yeah, well, I love, and we haven't even talked about the fucking monster, what it looks like.
It looks like ants from like a 60s, like,
well, yeah.
Like B movie.
It looks like, it's like, whatever the first attempt they made at designing the xenomorph, and they're like, no, that's terrible. Let's try a few more times. It's like the world's just cheapest knockoff xenomorph looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
When it's in physical form, and then when it's in CG form, it's a little different. So this fucking finale is just bonkers. So Tom gets killed by the thing. And then they like are like,
now it's girl power.
It's girl power time. All the men are dead, and they fucking group up because Sandy fucking loses her shit. She pulls the gun out, and this is after it grabs Tom. She pulls the gun and she shoots it and kills it, I guess. And it's one of the best lines in movie history.
Where'd you learn to shoot that thing?
I'm a postal worker.
How the hell did you learn how to shoot like that? I'm a postal worker.
Ay.
Wow, that just digs at every part of me.
Oh, it's so good. So then she is, like I said, you gotta keep in mind, this whole ending, she is covered in blood. And every conversation she has is like, it's so hilarious. They'll show her from the front, and it looks like Carrie. And then they show the other person. You can see the back, and her whole back of her head is perfectly clean. And there's just like a line of blood where it's like on the front. But this is where they start cutting in, because like I said, half of this movie was filmed at a later date with different equipment.
Yeah.
And they start cutting in her
in front of a green screen.
In front of a green screen, with a completely different blood like situation going on. Her hair is like different length. It's nuts how fucking jarring it is that it's like, whoa, that is not remotely shot at the same time.
Oh, and then we have to say this, like they're snowed in now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there was
like
a storm. There was a storm. A blizzard blew in, so they're like snowed in. So Sandy's like, fuck it, fuck this, I'm going to kill it. And they're like, no, we got to do it together.
Whatever they are, they're able to pick us off one by one. But maybe we can confuse it if we just stick together and work as a team and attack back. Okay, maybe you have a point.
Because I'm like, no, Sandy's on a fucking mission.
All right, let's go.
Let her go kill. She will fucking murder all of those things. She is like fucking snapped. She's like berserker.
But they're like, all right, look, we can't get Jennifer. We can't get Jennifer to come back for this next shoot. So let's just tell her to stay in the kitchen.
You go into the kitchen and don't come out until we come get you. Got it? Got it?
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer, go in the kitchen.
And just stay there until we come back.
Yeah, and she's calling her baby, like the Melissa or whatever. It's like calling her baby already. It's like,
What, baby? What, Jen?
you guys had sex once and you've known each other for 2 days. Calm down, weirdo.
They get the fireplace poker, and then a bottle of hairspray and Tom's lighter.
Yep. Arachnophobia style. And they go, and she's got the gun, which they show her load it one time, and never again the rest of the movie.
6-shooter, by the way.
6-shooter, yeah, revolver. She shoots hundreds of times. Probably in the end of this film, hundreds of times.
Well, this is where the CGI creatures come in, and oh my god!
So they get down in the basement, and this scene is. I wish I could put the whole 5-minute scene in. It's fucking bonkers.
Oh god, what do we do?
I don't know. Barb, use your hairspray. Maybe the fire will stop them.
Just the quality went from it started meh,
yeah,
and then it went
super meh,
and then it just fell through the floor.
It's them it's the 3 girls standing in that room in the basement, a wide shot on a camcorder that's shaking, and they're just like shooting at the air and swinging pokers around and constantly telling fucking whatever her name is to use the goddamn flamethrower, and she never does until...
Barb, do it now! Barb, do it now! Barb! Use the lighter now! Barb, light it now! Barb!
Well, this feels exactly like Birdemic,
Yeah.
where they're like
Yeah.
swinging hangers around.
That's exactly what it is. Because the fucking aliens in this are just these weird gray CGI blob
they're
things.
just keyed in front of them.
Yeah, they're just like flying. It's exactly like fucking Birdemic, where there's no weight. They're just fucking the cheapest little anime, and they do the same thing over and over again. They jump from wall to wall, and they're just shooting at them and swinging at them. And then she finally uses the fucking flamethrower.
Oh right, I'm holding this.
And the fucking
this is Neil Breen level flamethrower.
His is better. The one in Pass-Through is legit better than this. It's fucking crazy.
It's so ridiculous.
Orange. It's like they took an orange gradient in like fucking Photoshop and like smeared it on the screen. It's fucking insane. The whole end of this movie is like one of the craziest. I just sat there mouth agape.
They went to a college and was like, "You're in a graphic design course, right? Help us finish this movie."
An intro level graphic design course the first day. Like, it's fucking bonkers. It's so bad. So they start killing a bunch of them, and then they go into the attic thing, and now there's giant egg sacs that weren't there before, like they never saw. There's like egg pods, and they just kind of look at them and tell her to try. They constantly are just like, burn them, and she's like, I can't.
Hit those fuckers. Okay. Hit those fuckers. I'm trying.
What was happening? She just like constantly. So they sit there, and then they decide to like, what they need to do is blow the house up.
So they can't take all of them out. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
So they need to come up with a plan. They have these explosives that John found, and they're gonna blow everything up. Their method for igniting their method for triggering these is a bear trap.
Yeah, what? I didn't get any of this.
It's a bear trap, fishing line, and a detonator.
How's that gonna help us?
It's not. I'm going to use this trap as a trip mechanism. Look in John's bag for some fishing line and tape.
Okay, I found it. Now what? Tie the end of that line to the trap. Hurry. Okay.
And I was like, why do you think a bear trap's gonna work?
What is that?
What the fuck?
I was like, what are they talking about? And why is Sandy like MacGyver all of a sudden? She's just like, give me a bear trap, fishing line. What? It's fucking bonkers. And so they realize they gotta dig out of the house.
Yeah, so they have someone constantly digging through this window
because they're buried in by snow. And oh, there's a great shot when they at one point when they're leaving the basement, they shoot an alien and it sprays goo all over them. Which is hilarious. And then the trophy wife girl is running up the stairs, and there's the world's greatest gooey alien blood cleavage shot that I have ever seen. It's glistening as she's running up those stairs. It's a thing of beauty, let me tell you. So what happens now?
I don't know. We're getting into weird territory. They are basically using the flamethrower and using the gun to buy time to get them out of there. They have the trap set.
Yeah. Right? And they need bait? They say they need bait?
What if they don't go near it? We use bait!
For the thing.
Oh, and they start using Zach's, like,
dead
disembodied
body, which is still there on the floor.
What bait? That's crazy. That's Jennifer's boyfriend, Zach. You can't use him for bait.
Yeah.
For bait? I don't even know. And I was like, but one thing I was like, oh god, they're gonna blow up this house. I absolutely cannot wait to see this explosion. I cannot wait to see this explosion.
You will not be disappointed.
No, you will not. I was so hyped though. I was like, yeah, come on with the movie explosion. So yeah, they're just fighting, and then the lesbian gets impaled.
She gets harpooned.
Yeah, right in the chest. But yeah, they have harpoon guns now. I don't know where those came from.
You pull her away and you're like, this is acting.
So then Jennifer wanders into
She goes to... And by the way, for whatever reason, within the last 3 minutes of this movie, whoever the audio person was either got drunk, went unconscious, or just died.
All three. And then, like, some random baboon came in and just started hitting buttons. Because
everything is...
Everything at once, always.
Completely distorted. Like, it's way overmodulated.
And there's, like, giant... Like, the aliens are now making weird, like, goat sounds over everything. It's fucking bonkers, and everybody's yelling lines all at once. It's crazy. But Jennifer...
She goes super crazy. She takes Zach's ring that he had somewhere and
on his
puts
finger.
it on.
She pulls it off his finger and says, "Till death do us part."
Till death do us part.
And then she's got his
And then
hand.
she's like, you're not gonna take me apart from him again.
Yeah.
And just grabs the dynamite and then goes.
No, you're missing the boy.
Whoa.
Shoot, there's a moment, how dare you, where they're like, Sandy is trying to convince her to leave.
Jennifer, leave him. Just do it, baby. Come on. I found my place here.
Jennifer, put him down and slowly make your way over to me.
And she goes, I'm staying with Zach, and holds up his head.
Zach's not gone. He's right here. See?
Like, fucking...
And these are the scenes where she is so badly CGI, so badly
Yes, Sandy is,
in, where I'm just like, why don't you go? Oh, because you're not really there.
No, she won't. She can't go over and grab Jennifer because she's physically in a green screen studio somewhere else. Like, what is going on? It's fucking amazing. It's fucking nuts.
She's getting roped up and dragged over, and then she grabs
the bomb.
and Barb and Sandy just get out of there.
Yeah.
And she blows it up, and there's this most amazing.
Oh God!
That
explosion.
noise says it all.
Oh, it's so good. Green screen shot of our two that got away, the trophy wife and Sandy, and they like dive. And then the house blows up, and it's fucking glorious. It's like just everything I hoped it could be. It felt like it lasted for 8 minutes of just fucking the worst CG explosion. I mean, short of a Neil Breen film that you will ever see. It's glorious. And then the movie just ends.
And then Barb drops a one-liner at the end of it.
Come on, Sandy. Let's go home.
No, they didn't have a one-liner. She goes, "Come on, Sandy, let's go home."
That's it.
And then it cuts to the credits, and there's like 17 executive producers. What? This fucking movie is bonkers. This movie is so bad, like so technically. Just how did this happen? How did they do
Somebody
this?
owed somebody something and said, we need to complete this.
Yeah, they were like, that was the thing that was crazy to me, is it didn't seem, it's such a generic idea for a movie that I find it hard to believe it was somebody's like passion project.
This felt like somebody ran out of money.
Yeah.
And for like a year or two.
Yeah, and then went back.
This isn't like Drug Runners where they were like, okay, we got to rewrite the script to kind of fit this.
No.
This is, we have no money at all. We cannot get these people. We need to salvage what we can out of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get Sandy back in a green screen studio to pick up. But the thing that's crazy is that they still shot, because it goes back, the whole ending goes back and forth between stuff they clearly shot on the day, like on location, intended like to be how the movie ended, and then for some reason they have all these pickup shots of Sandy saying lines that don't even really affect the plot that much. Like, it's very strange that they decided
we just need to know that she's there.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And then it caused Jennifer to stop being an actress. She sells real estate now. I was looking up people from the movie, and I googled her name, and it came up realty, and I clicked on it. It's totally fucking her. She's got great reviews as a realtor, so if you need one, a realtor out in like Hollywood, it's be great.
At the very end, I was like, they're like, let's go home. How are you getting there?
Yeah, you're still in the same situation you were when the plane landed.
Just now, you don't have shelter.
No, you're dead. They died. That's what happens. They died in the tundra. Like, fucking, it's...
In the 108 degree, luscious green tundra.
This movie's fucking bonkers. Like, the ending is just so much nonsense. It's incredible. And it's so technically bad. Like, even the stuff that was shot originally is not well shot. They didn't get enough coverage. Whoever's idea it was that we'll just digitally put in all these aliens later and it'll look great. Because the monster, while it's not a great looking design, it looks okay when they actually have it, like, come around a corner.
It looks like a legitimate monster.
Yeah, like a monster. Like when they show it, coming out of a dark hole or whatever, it looks okay.
And then whenever they digitally made one, it just looks...
It's a gray blob. They're just little gray ant blob things, and they're tiny, and they look like the scale of them changes, and it's Birdemic level with the birds just like stuck on the screen. Like, they're not interacting with the environment at all. They're just on the screen. I don't know. This movie is nuts. It's nuts. It's amazing. It's good bad. It's gotta be good bad.
Oh yeah, I know. It's
fucking.
This is bonkers on every level.
Buck wild crazy. They really just chop you can skip the first 6 minutes. I'll tell you that much. That's irrelevant. But
just even skip the first
20 minutes probably. Yeah.
Just get to the crazy like character like motivations and introductions.
Well, I don't know. The stuff in the plane's okay. With like, so you gotta kind of watch that. Yeah. But yeah.
There's definitely chunks you can cut out.
There's chunks you could cut out, but not a lot. It's not. There's a couple times where it gets a little plotting where they're exploring a house, but other than that, like there's always something stupid going on.
This is kind of the epitome of what I want in a shitty sci-fi horror film.
Yeah.
Because like everything about this is great bad.
Yeah,
almost.
it's fucking astonishingly incompetent. Like, it's mind-blowing. It's incredible. Guys, Blood Predator is a hidden gem. It's Birdemic is the best comparison, I think. It's that level of just incompetent nonsense monster fest, but they're boobs.
What more do you want?
Yeah, what more could you possibly want in a film?
Blood Predator. Watch it.